Okay, well, it's O'Malley's versus Boomtown.
Okay.
And what do you want me to, you got like a headset?
Yeah, you're going to be on the headset right there.
This one?
Yep, but go behind the table so you can watch the monitor. On the other side of the table.
Okay.
Oh, you get a monitor too. Look at you, like a real TV guy.
Oh, I get to lift this way.
Yeah.
I get to sit down.
Right.
You get, look at, I'm, not only am I making you like awesome. So this is a stream. There's your headset.
Okay. When should we start?
Remember, your mic is always open, so if somebody comes by to talk to you,
Is there any way I can turn it off?
take your headset off.
Okay. So it's only directional when it's on. The mic is only directional when it's on, right? Or up close.
Directional when it's on. The mic is directional when it's on.
Right. Put it about.
So if I take it off, they can't hear me.
Well, they can if you, depending on how long you talk. But if you need to turn your head away and talk to somebody.
Okay. Very good. When you want this?
It will still pick you up if you're just talking normally around it.
Okay. I got a question. When do you want this to start?
Whenever the game is ready to start, just take off and say, all right, here we are at the first game of the morning.
Okay. This is the winner's bracket, isn't it?
It is.
What's your name so we can put up the graphic for you?
Oh, you can get your name on the
Can
TV.
I put Green Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Green Man.
Green Man is it's Green Man.
Green Man from the Air Aces.
Green Man from the Air Aces.
Oh, that might be too loud.
Okay.
What?
Thank you.
Okay. Just let me. So should we start?
Play-by-play by Green Man.
Okay. You gonna cue me in? Just tell me when I should start talking.
Okay, I will. Tell me when you can start talking. Go ahead.
Good morning, Frisbee fans. We're in Plymouth, Michigan at the Heinz Park, and we're at the World Frisbee GUTS Championships, and we're just about ready to start the winners bracket elimination. Two best teams from yesterday, Saturday, are O'Malley from Marquette, Michigan, and we have Boomtown Saints from Lansing, Michigan, some local guys. These are two of the top teams that have come to the World Championships, and they'll be giving us a nice exhibition here. And this is a very fast sport. The players have all different kinds of throws, and they each one of these I'll explain when the boys get ready. And it looks like they're all fired up, ready to go. Boomtown is in the gray uniforms, and the O'Malleys are in the green uniforms. And these are two top-notch teams, and this should be a lot of fun. This is GUTS at its highest level. You'll have 5 guys opposing each other on each team. One thrower from one team throws it at the other team, and the object is to shoot the disc through through the other team, and the object for the defensive team is to catch it with one hand. Now you can bobble it up in the air, you can kick it up, but you cannot use two hands during this tournament. That's one of the rules. And a short shot is a lost point to the throwing team, or if it's wide or if it's high, that's a point for the defenders. So looks like we have first shot coming up here from O'Malley's. They already tossed the disc, and looks like O'Malley's won for the first shot. Here's the first shot of the day. It's a forehand, fast forehand, and that was a point. So the score is 1-0 O'Malley's. At this point, the other team has to line up. O'Malley's has to line up before they can take a shot. So they typically position people in certain locations. So either they can protect them, or if they want to see a certain shot back, they shoot them. So okay, here's the throwing team, Boomtown. It's got a California grip backhand, and that's a clean catch. Some of these shots approach 70 miles an hour. It's very difficult to zero in on with eye-hand coordination. So that was no score. The score's still 1-0 O'Malley's. That was a left-handed thumber, and that was another clean catch. We should see a lot of clean catches in this game, because these guys are top-notch. Comes another backhand, and that's a good shot, just below the guy's hands. So the score is 1-1. Typically, the teams like to throw to the weakest player on the other team, and there's a lot of factors to take into account: wind, sun, terrain, and okay. Yeah. Oops. All right, we have a call that may or may not be a legal throw. If the frisbee approaches vertical, or if it goes over vertical, it is a bad throw, and the offensive team loses a point. It was a question, but I guess it was good. It was a good tip. As you can see, he just put his body in front of that disc. It tipped it up to his teammate. His teammate used one hand to catch it, and that's a good catch. It's always the guy who catches it who gets the throw back. Score still 1-1. Here's a turnaround backhand, in which Boomtown snapped up pretty easily. These are pretty fast shots, so they're pretty tough to catch. That's a point for Boomtown. The O'Malleys weren't able to get that up and tip it to anybody. So as soon as it hits the ground, it's a dead frisbee. It's a point for the throwing team. All right, that was a two-finger by O'Malley's shooting Boomtown. They got it up, and the tip was caught. Tips can be caught by anybody. And this is an inverted flipper. The flip shot starts out vertical, but it's supposed to go through the line less than vertical, so it would have been a good shot. But here it was a high shot, so Boomtown lost a point. So it score is 2-2. Oh, looks like the return throw was short, so they traded points. One high, one short. Score is 3-2 Boomtown. I believe this shot is going to be a staker shot. It's a shot that travels about 3/4 of the way through the playing field, and then it drops dramatically. And that was what's called an ace, when the defender does not get his hand on the frisbee. It's an ace, and usually it's whoever it's closest to has to throw it back. So if it's between two players, the opposing team actually will choose who throws it back. Field's a little wet this morning. Sometimes the players have to dry their hands off with a little bit of dirt. Playing fields 14 meters apart, and they cannot cross the line when they throw. That was a good shot. Very difficult to catch at the very extension of his arm. And that was a point for O'Malley's. So the score is 4-3 Boomtown. It's one of the premier locations for a shot to be up high like that, because they're very difficult to catch. There's a tip going on. As you see, it went from one guy to another. Everybody tries to focus on the disc, keep it calm, keep it in between everybody. That way there's a good chance that somebody will be able to grab it. Here's a forehand shot. And sometimes the players actually tip it towards some of the better players. Now, not all the teams can do that. Now, that was a good demonstration right there, where one guy gave it to one of their best players. and because he's got a great shot, as do most of these gentlemen here. There you go. That was a nice, smooth shot. Guy tipped it up, and one of his teammates caught it. No points scored. Score is still 4-3, Boomtown. We have a beautiful day here for Guts. The wind is real calm. There's no issues with that. It's really perfect. Ooh, there's a turnaround backhand. Again, the placement was perfect. Just below the guy's hands over in Boomtown. Point O'Malley. That ties up the score 4-4. Guys have to line up fingertip to fingertip as they wait for the throw. It's a good tip. Looks like O'Malley's are getting out in front of these discs pretty good. Sometimes these games can be very lengthy when the two teams are of this caliber. Ooh. There's another good shot by O'Malley's. The perfect spot to shoot Boomtown right at their fingertips. It's a couple real good shots in a row there. That's a perfect placement. Very difficult to catch there. Score is 5-4 O'Malley's. It's another good hand. Guy's tipping it. And, oh, almost got it. There we go. Almost went to the ground. The players can use their feet when they're tipping like this, as long as it doesn't hit the ground and the player catches it. He can kick it up, but he can't use two hands when he catches it. As soon as he does that, it's a point for the throwing team. Another backhand turnaround. It's a nice stop by Boomtown. He's able to get a good hand on that. It's a clean catch. Scores 5-4 O'Malley. Boomtown throwing. His turnaround backhand. And that's a clean catch. O'Malley's comes from Marquette, Michigan, in the UP. They're an up-and-coming team here for the last 3-4 years. They've put together a nice, solid team to challenge the downstate Boomtown Saints. Left-hand thumber. Perfect spot. Boomtown's calling it an ace, so it didn't touch anybody, so they get to call who takes the shot. So they thought it was that gentleman, but they want this young man to throw. Evidently it was right in between both of them. Score 6-4 O'Malley's. And this is going to be a flip shot again. Hopefully you can get this one in. Yep. That disc starts out over vertical, and by the time it gets to the defenders, it's less than vertical. It's a good shot. Usually moves from left to right if it's a right-hand thrower. And score! So we have a backhand throw. And O'Malley scores, and it's team switch sides to every 11 points. Usually shake each other's hands. Good sportsmanship. Score 7-4. That's 11 points. I think Boomtown's going to try and regroup here. So O'Malley's is out in front. They want to tighten up a little bit. So maybe they'll change their strategy. Again, this is like a perfect day for Guts. They changed the sides so each team gets the same terrain every 11 points. They get new terrain. Sometimes sun is a factor. And that was a good throw. It's a turnaround backhand. And O'Malley's got a little bit of that, but Boomtown's got to tighten it up a little bit to tighten the score up. Score 7-5. Boom, O'Malley's. Yeah, well, it looks like there was a high shot. That was a left-handed thumber high. So Boomtown gets a point. O'Malley loses that. 7-6. O'Malley's. Teams are allowed to have more than 5 players. They can have up to 7 or 8, but usually there's 5 solid players on each side, and typically they only use the 6th or the 7th player if somebody gets injured during play. Here's a staker throw, and it looks like it went through as an ace. Score 7-7, so it's all tied up. Typically, the teams judge each other's throws during the game, but if the game becomes heated, they can call for observers, and whatever the observers call, and there will be 2 observers, 1 for each team. They will bring them in if there's a dispute. That was a nice forehand shot and a clean catch by Boomtown. No score on a clean catch. The observers have the final say, and during play, if they're brought in, nobody can discuss with the observers anything other than their opinion. Here is a backhand shot and a good catch by O'Malley's. They popped it up, and nice catch. Still tie score, 7-7. O'Malley's throw. Looks like Boomtown isn't lined up yet, so. The defensive team has to line up, and they have to be ready before throw. And here's the left-hand thumber, and it, ooh. Looks like we have a little dispute, and only the team captain can come out and discuss the throw. Not all the players can go out on the field and discuss the throw. First, it's decided amongst the captains, and then if there are observers, then they would be called in if the captains can't agree. The score is 8-7 O'Malley's. Here's a California backhand shot, and looks like O'Malley's had a little trouble with that one. Got a good hand on it, but not enough for his friends to get a tip. That evens up the score at 8-all. And we got a throw by O'Malley. Forehand throw, and they're discussing inside or out. And it looks like it was an inside throw. So it's a score for O'Malley's. Scores 9-8 O'Malley. The backhand throw, turnaround, and it looks like O'Malley's managed to tip. You'll find your better teams are very good tippers. They surround the disc very well, and looks like they did a great job here. Looks like O'Malley's got a two-finger forehand, and it looks like it might have gone outside the player, and looks like that might have, well, they're still discussing. And the player who threw it actually calls it out, so that evens the score 9-all. It's tough to call your own shot bad, but that's good sportsmanship. So at that point, Boomtown can give it to anybody to throw, and usually it's their best thrower. And it looks like another ace. Boomtown 10-9. Boomtown 10-9. O'Malley's throwing. And, oh, he tipped it up. And Boomtown does a great job with the tip. And one of their best players made the catch. And that was a nice throw. That's called a staker again. And the score is 11-9 Boomtown. Looks like O'Malley's having a little trouble with that particular throw. It is very difficult to catch. As I mentioned, gets about halfway or 3/4 of the way over the field, and then it dips, and very difficult to follow. Here comes a forehand. Nice shot by O'Malley's. Looks like Boomtown couldn't handle that one. Pretty fast. Boomtown throwing back. And he had a solid hand on it, but there wasn't anybody to catch that. Went over one of the O'Malley's guys' heads. Scores 12-10. Boomtown. Again, it's 11-point switch. That way nobody has an advantage in the field. Get the sun in your face. A little bit of wind from right to left. That evens out everything with the switch. On the switch, if Boomtown had wanted to bring in somebody, or if O'Malley wanted to bring in somebody else and put in one of their 6th or 7th men, they could do that at the switch, not before the switch. That way, if somebody's playing poorly, they can replace them and get in a fresh set of hands and a new thrower. And I think Boomtown brought in a new man on the switch. And that was a nice left-handed thumber. And it looks like they picked on the new guy already. So we'll see how he holds up. Looks like Boomtown discussing a little strategy. Guys are thinking about where to line up. You can switch positions during the game. You can't switch positions during a throw. We've got a right-handed two-finger. And it's a good shot. It's very difficult to catch when it's really low like that. Looks like O'Malley got his hand on it pretty good. Just couldn't squeeze. Wow, good shot from O'Malley's. Scores 13-12. Boomtown. As I said earlier, these two teams are very competitive. Some of the best players out here. Comes the right-handed backhand. And it looks like it's an ace for Boomtown. 14-12 Boomtown. I expected this to be close, and it is. So O'Malley's throwing. Sometimes you have to wipe the disc off when it's a little wet outside. Don't want it to slip. Right hand, backhand. Boomtown got a hand on it, but no tip. Score is 14-13 Boomtown. It's a right hand, backhand. And Boomtown scores a point. O'Malley's couldn't handle the tip, even though they had a nice solid hand on that. Score is 15-13 Boomtown. It's still a little wet out here, and that's why the O'Malley throwers wiping it off, and there's a nice solid catch by Boomtown. There's no score when there's a solid catch. Score still 15-13 Boomtown. Looks like he's coming back with the staker. And again, another ace for Boomtown. Very difficult to get your hand on that because it moves quite a bit. Score is 16-13 Boomtown. O'Malley's throwing. Right hand, two finger. And it's a solid catch. Again, no points are scored when there's a catch. Guys are allowed to wear gloves. You can see. And that point was thrown away. It was a high shot. It's a point for the defenders. 16-14, Boomtown. Sometimes the guys put the glove on the ground so they can mark a position where they can launch from so they don't go over the line. And that was a nice solid hand by Boomtown, but it was a good shot by O'Malley's. Score is 16-15, Boomtown. It's a nice right-handed backhand. And O'Malley's got a nice hand on it, but just couldn't get it up. Score 17-15, Boomtown. As I said earlier, some of these shots can approach 70 plus miles an hour. Very difficult to catch with one hand. That was a two-finger shot by O'Malley's. They scored. Score 17-16, Boomtown. Another 11-point switch. Both teams showing good sportsmanship. Nice solid game being played by both teams. The game is to 21. First team to 21. by 2 points wins the game. If the score is tight, if it's 21-20, they have to win by 2. Sometimes the games go into the 30s, especially with two talented teams. Everybody likes to stay hydrated during the day. Usually they have lots of water bottles on the sidelines. It's kind of early yet, but later in the day there will be lots of water bottles on the ground. It's a right hand, 2-finger, and he threw it away. It's a short shot. Evens up the score at 17. Looks like O'Malley's is thinking out a strategy. Looks like Boomtown made a change. So they have a new player in. So that would change the strategy for O'Malley's. And here's a shot. And a catch. No score, still 17 all. The Boomtown teams in Lansing, Michigan have been playing approximately about 8 years. And that was a nice right-handed backhand and a nice up by O'Malley's. The Boomtown Saints have won several world championships. One in Vancouver in 2008. O'Malley's is the up-and-coming team who's here to try and take this one away from them. It's going to be a left-hand thumber. Nice shot. Boomtown got it up and got the tip. Still 17 all. Again, some of the guys use hats to locate where they launch from so they don't go over the line. If they go over the line, then that's a no throw, no point, and the defending team gets the throw back. That was a nice catch by O'Malley's. Very fast backhand. Score still tied all, 17-17. Boomtown's lining up. Looks like this will be a flipper. Nope. It's a right-handed thumber. He did a last-second change. Some players do that. They have 2 throws. They start off with it looking like it's going to be a one shot and end up with a different one. Very deceiving for the defending team. They have to pick that up and catch what they get. It's a nice shot by Boomtown. It's a score 18-17. Boomtown. Looks like they went back to the same guy. Let's see if he's going to do the same thing he did last time. Start out with a flipper and then, yep, nope. Ended up with a flipper, and it was a nice catch by Boomtown. Another staker by Boomtown, and looks like O'Malley's having trouble with that. Scored 19-17 Boomtown. It's a beautiful day. Both teams playing very well. There's a right-handed two-finger. And that was a clean catch by Boomtown. Boomtown shot. And great placement right on the outside hand of the end man. And it looks like he couldn't get a hold of it. Have to chase that one down. Boomtown's leading 20-17. Looks like Boomtown has a strategy of picking on the same thrower. Looks like a flipper, but right-handed thumber, and looks like Boomtown had a little trouble with that. Score is 20-18. Boomtown. With a good throw here, Boomtown could end this. Well, let's see if O'Malley answers. And that was a nice tip by O'Malley's. They got it up. And score still 20-18. Guy's trying the disc off, getting ready for his throw. Got a backhand turnaround. It looks like they got a solid hand on it. And the tip went up, and great catch by Boomtown. Score still 20-18, Boomtown. And a nice catch by O'Malley's. No score there. Good hand. Thrower marks the spot on the ground there where he's going to launch from probably. Little strategic talk here going on. His forehand coming. And a shot. Oh! And he threw it away. That's it. Boomtown wins 21-18. Nice, good, solid game by the guys. Congratulate each other. And Boomtown goes to the winning bracket. That sends O'Malley's into the losers bracket. And they can still come back. The losers bracket, play a few more games. It's single elimination. And the winner of the losers bracket comes back to play the winners of the winners bracket. So it looks like O'Malley's is heading that way. Good job, Boomtown.
No two patients are alike. We make sure you get treatment as individual as you are. Henry Ford Health System, all for you.
Joe figured out that with Metro PCS, he pays only $30 period for unlimited data, talk, and text. Just like he figured out puppies are the best wingman.
You're so cute.
Thanks for walking, Ranger.
You too figure it out. Move to Metro PCS on the T-Mobile network for only $30 period, taxes and fees included. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy. Metro PCS, wireless figured out.